This is the story of Zoltun Kulle, betrayer of the Horadrim, and his appearance in Diablo III. After freeing the witch Adria from Belial's forces, her daughter Leah queries what they were interrogating her about.
The guards were asking you about this black soul stone. I remember reading about it in Uncle's journal, but it didn't seem important.
No, but it is. It is the key to defeating evil forever. It was created by the mage Zoltun Kulle to trap demonic souls.
Yes, he was a renegade Horadrim, dismembered by his brethren before he could activate the soul stone. His head was sealed away in the Dulgur oasis.
We must retrieve it, because if we're to use the soul stone to defeat Belial and Azmodan, Zoltun Kulle must live again.
We rescued Leah's mother, Adria. She told us about the Black Soul Stone, an artifact that could banish evil forever. I must find it.
After a brief cinematic plays explaining that the Black Soul Stone could be the key to defeating the forces of hell, and locating it will now be our prime objective, we find a tome has dropped, one of Adria's writings on the ex-Horadrim Zoltun Kulle himself.
Murderer, torturer, monster. These were the titles bestowed upon Zoltun Kulle by the Horadrim. Though it cost them dearly, they killed the wizard for his crimes against nature and sealed his broken corpse within a shadow realm. It seems they were afraid he might return.
So Zul is the key to the Black Soul Stone, and he was banished to the Shadow Realm. But Adria, isn't he dead?
Zoltun Kulle, a legend. There is no doubt in my mind he is as powerful as the stories say. But for every bit of his genius, he was surely mad. He was obsessed with immortality and power.
A madman. We would do better to leave him asleep in the desert than to call on him for aid.
You have a better idea.
I do not. It is merely a warning.
Zoltun Kulle is an unknown. Involving him is risky.
You take risks every day, Crusader, and one dismembered wizard is nothing compared to Belial and Azmodan.
Allying ourselves with the deceased mad wizard isn't exactly our cup of tea, but if Tyrael formed the Horadrim, what happened?
300 years ago, I selected Kulle and 6 others to form the Horadrim. He was a great man who was driven mad by his long quest to hunt evil.
Why did the Horadrim kill Zoltun Kulle?
He delved into powers not meant for man, trying to fashion an artifact that could fill his empty heart with the souls of angels and demons. The Horadrim had no choice but to slay him. The Order never recovered.
Wait, angels and demons? Powerful enemies indeed, but what did Leah learn of this rogue mage in her travels?
I don't like dealing with Kulle any better than you do, but I see no other way. If Adria says we must, then we must. Uncle Deckard trusted her, and so will I.
Although we agree with the Archangel Tyrael, this is indeed a terrible idea. We have sworn to defeat the forces of evil and Belial by any means necessary. Tyrael had instructed us that Zoltun Kulle's head is inside the forgotten ruins in the Dulgur oasis. As we enter Khaldium's bazaar, we hear some women gossiping.
It's disgusting. I've seen that man going in and out of the sewers.
You never can tell with those types.
Unfortunately, they're right. It is disgusting. And, more unfortunate, the only way through to the oasis, we were informed, is through the flooded causeway and back into the sewers. Once inside, the Enchantress stops us and says,
I think we may have a visitor up ahead.
And indeed, we do see townsfolk up ahead. A mother is standing next to a fire with a boy crying. It looks like the refugees have been displaced more than we first imagined. Many of the gates in the sewer have been barred within, and we cannot pass the north or eastern gate. The displaced townsfolk making a camp of sorts even have a merchant But more surprising, the deceptive boy Emperor Hakan stands by the southeastern sewer grate. Approaching him, he urges,
Listen to me. I cannot talk for long, but Lyle's guards are constantly watching me.
Emperor Hakan?
Forgive me for my behavior at court. The gods would have killed me had I sided with you, but I will help you now as I can. You must be headed to the oasis. I can open this gate for you.
how in the seven hells did the boy Emperor know we're going to the oasis? Although he is but a boy, we press him for answers.
How did all this happen?
There's little I can do. Between my advisors and the Imperial Guard, my every move and action are controlled. I've tried to fight back, but Belial's influence is strong. But now you've given me a chance. Perhaps my only chance.
How could you aid me?
You're here to kill Belial, aren't you? I can help.
Perhaps in a few years.
I can still fight in my own way. I want my empire back. I will find where Belial is hiding and deliver him to you.
Deliver him to us? That's rich. We need more convincing.
I'm not sure I trust you, after you set your guards on us.
I told you it was not my choice. My every move is controlled and I am surrounded by enemies. But I swear to you, I will help you. I will prove it to you.
We do not trust Emperor Hakan's promises just yet, but he did open the southeast grate, which leads down to the ruined cistern, one step closer to the Dalgern oasis. Once inside the cistern, we hear a familiar scream, that of a treasure goblin. As it stands idly beside a dead body, we chase it down, but it leads us into a larger pack of skeleton archers.
Do you see that enemy over there? Let us cleanse it from this land.
Although the Enchantress's war cry is well-meaning, it doesn't help much as we fend off sandlings, the treasure goblin, and exploding skeleton archers to boot.
You never cease to impress me.
With the goblin and the archers felled, we find a rare legendary amulet, the Dovu energy trap. And although encouraging, we can sense something amiss with the Enchantress and ask,
You're distracted again.
It is not my intention. There is nowhere I would rather be.
Truly?
Truly, everything depends on this. On you.
Her words are comforting and her intent seems pure, yet with all the lies and deception, we cannot help but feel a niggling of mistrust in the back of our mind. Clearing much of the undead that lurk within the cistern, the very walls cave in as more skeletons lie in ambush. And yet, despite Belial's forces' attempt, the pathway to the oasis lies before us. And once topside, we see a beautiful, lush oasis, nothing like the surrounding desert.
It is so beautiful.
And we're instantly reminded of a journal entry about the oasis from Abd al-Hazir, which reads,
3 centuries ago, a much smaller Chaldeum depended upon small wells for its water. Then came the mysterious Dalgur, offering Chaldeum an oasis of unparalleled splendor, located in an area previously thought to be desert, asking only that his name be permanently affixed to the land. Then he vanished into the wastes.
After battling through a score of Belial's forces, we find the entrance to the Forgotten Ruins and remark,
Well, if I had the head of a deranged sorcerer, I'd hide it here.
once inside the dark, sandy, Forgotten Ruins, the air is thin and there is an arcane energy about the place. Next to the entry, we find more information of the eventual slaying of Kulle in a hunter's journal that reads,
We are in agreement. Kulle, the renegade, must be stopped. He seeks to duplicate the power of the stones and wield it for his own ends. He is obsessed with the powers of heaven and hell. Drawing their attention will only bring doom to us all.
The crusade marches on!
We bellow as a battle cry to let the undead know of our presence as they shamble towards us. We realize that time has made these skeleton warriors largely impotent, lethargic, and not much in terms of guardians as we whip our flail through their flimsy bones and taunt.
Had enough?
On the northeast side of the platform, we see none other than Zoltun Kulle's decapitated head. Glyphs seem to be holding it in place and although it's just in reach, we cannot help but feel this was entirely too easy. As if responding to our remark, as soon as we touch the head, an ancient guardian is birthed from the very earth and punches us backwards, nearly sending us off the platform. Unable to face the monster dead on, we use thorns underfoot to our advantage, dancing around it as it paws at us, and it finally falls back into the sand whence it came. On its body, we find some gold and a shield, and next to it, the Hunter's Journal, Part 2, which reads,
We set out in 1 week's time, into the desolate sands, to search for Kul's hidden archives. None of us have any idea what to expect. How far has Kul's madness driven him? How much power has he accumulated in his mad quest? I can only hope we are not too late.
With head in hand, we can only hope that history isn't doomed to repeat itself as we bring the power-hungry wizard's head to Adria and see Leah herself is learning of the arcane arts.
If you keep holding back, then you'll never improve. Ah! Leah, are you all right?
Yes, I think so.
I'm sorry to push you like this, but it will all be for the best in the end.
I know.
Interrupting the familiar lesson, we present the head of Zoltun Kulle to Adria, and she instructs.
It is time. Leah, cast the spell as I taught you.
Leah then casts a revive spell, and Zoltun Kulle bursts back to life.
I live again.
Zoltun Kulle, we need you to activate the Black Soul Stone. We would use it to trap the last 2 Lords of Hell.
I know your voice, stranger. It has haunted me in death, just as it commanded me in life. Tyrael.
I am, but now mortal.
Fate is whimsical.
Zoltun Kulle is now back in the land of the living. Well, kind of, and our quest is complete. Will he help us trap the last of the 2 evils? Well, that's a story for another time.